Mahenti. You know, the NBA free agency negotiating period begins promptly Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. But on Monday night, well before it gets going in earnest, Kev, we might have gotten the biggest question of all answered.
He is indeed the biggest question in Brooklyn. But the news tonight, anyway, is the in Brooklyn part. Kyrie Irving is opting in, staying with the Nets. $36.5 million reasons to activate that final year of his deal with Brooklyn. The 30-year-old had averaged 27.5 points and nearly 6 assists in 29 games last season. But it was a season defined more by the games Irving did not play after choosing not to get vaccinated. Kyrie is entering the final year of his deal. Let's bring in senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, what factored into Kyrie's decision to opt in?
Kevin, simply Kyrie Irving was not able to land either an extension with the Nets or a sign-and-trade deal elsewhere in the NBA, specifically with the Lakers, that would have allowed him to get the long-term max dollars that he wanted. And so short of following through on his threat to sign the $6 million mid-level exception with the Lakers, which he could have done if he opted out of his deal, he went back to Brooklyn on that 36.5 player option, really had exhausted all of his leverage, and returns to Brooklyn now with the possibility of free agency next summer.
Meantime, Woj, Kyrie is very tight with Kevin Durant, who just signed that veteran extension himself last summer. But there had been reports about KD's future should dominoes start to fall there in Brooklyn. What does this news mean for Kevin Durant?
Well, I think Kevin Durant was very loyal to Kyrie Irving through this process and certainly, wanted to create the idea that if Kyrie Irving walked, that Kevin Durant might ask for a trade. But in the end, the leveraging on Irving's side just didn't allow for him to get, the kind of new deal he wanted. And so now Kevin Durant has what he did want, which was Kyrie Irving back on the Nets this season. So the expectation right now is that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will move forward for the Nets on this roster this year. But Kevin Durant hasn't talked yet. He hasn't expressed that publicly. We'll wait and see. But this is the outcome that he wanted, which was Irving back with the Nets this year, the two of them playing together.
It would seem short term anyway, things are settled in Brooklyn. Long term, a very different story. Woj, there is some notable point guard news tonight. What can you tell us about the very latest with John Wall?
Yeah, Kevin, I'm told that John Wall plans to sign with the LA Clippers after agreeing tonight to a contract buyout with the Houston Rockets. He had a year left on his deal. And now I'm told Wall's intentions are to sign with the Clippers and join a team that may be as talented as any in the NBA, with Kawhi Leonard back next season, a healthy Paul George, and all the supplemental pieces around him. Now you add John Wall to that team without being asked to carry a significant load there, be able to be a player who can come in, give them some scoring, some shooting, either as a starter or off the bench. And certainly that's an impactful addition for the LA Clippers.
Wall to LA, Kyrie staying put, and a busy night for Adrian Wojnarowski. Thanks, Woj.
Thanks, Kev.
Well, over the last 3 seasons, John Wall has played in a total of 40 games. That ranks outside the top 500 in the league over that span.
Wow.
The $123 million he's earned over those past 3 seasons, tied for third most. Only Steph and Russ made more money.
Absolutely mind-blowing. And we should mention, speaking of Wall, if anything, the Yankees and Red Sox have done anything but hit a wall. These are two of the hottest teams in baseball this month. The Yankees have been cruising all season long, and after that putrid 10-19 start, the Red Sox have really turned it around. Best of this month, both probably hurting that it's about to end. It would be hurting on this night, but they are scorching hot. There they are, top wild card, ready to go. Connor Siebold making his second career start, and the Jays ready to tee off. Bo Bichette, good genes, down the line. George Springer comes around to score. Keep in mind, despite the greatness of the Red Sox here, Kevin, the way they played lately, they're just 7-14 against the division. That's the really important number. Those are the bulk of your opponents. George Springer, gone. Second game back after the right elbow injury knocked him on the shelf for 3 games. Speaking of good genes, Vlad Guerrero. That pretty much went to almost the same spot Springer's did. Out in a hurry, his 18th of the season. 9th in the month of June. Dressed for success, put that jacket on. It's 4-0. Kevin Gausman had it absolutely going. He has had a late career renaissance, if there is such a thing. His splitter was absolutely rolling from the start. Rob Refsnyder, Jackie Bradley Jr., the suddenly red-hot Trevor Story. Man, most strikeouts, the highest whip rate using the splitter. And then it wasn't just a one-pitch night for him. He also had the fastball working on Xander Bogaerts. Story one more time. The story, Kev, with Gausman was he was terrific. Struck out 10 over 7, and the Red Sox 7-game win streak comes to an end as the Jays plate 7 of their own.
Z, the Yankees enter play Monday night with more home wins this season than the A's had total wins. Also a Major League best 22 comeback wins. Bottom 4, Yanks down 5-1 to the A's. Giancarlo Stanton, drive in, drive out, I'm leaving. 18th home run of the year, it's now 5-2. Bottom 5, man on second. 2 men out, Aaron Judge. Runaway American League MVP so far. Lines a shot off the glove of Elvis Andrus. DJ Jazzy LeMahieu, who stole a base to get to second, comes to the score. Yanks down 5-3. Bottom 7, Judge back up, man on. Grounds into what looks like a double play that would have ended the inning, but play is stopped. Why? Well, because catcher Sean Murphy interferes with Judge's swings. Which, I mean, you take your life into your hands when you do that, right?
And you don't see it often.
So you know what? Instead of the double play, Judge gets first. Next batter, Anthony Rizzo. Plunked on the arm. Looked like it got him in the elbow. He stayed in the game, but he would be pinch hit for in his next at bat. So something to keep an eye on. Rizzo also homered in this one tonight, his 20th of the year. Next batter, Giancarlo Stanton. Fouls that one off, but he points to the dugout. He says, hang on a minute here. Something's up. Zubin, look at this again. Sean Murphy interferes with Stanton's swing here. Catcher's interference sparking the Yankees in this inning. A run comes in to score. 5-4. Next batter, Josh Donaldson. Bases loaded. Yanks have been waiting for him to get going, and maybe this is the game that doesn't. To the wall, a 2 RBI double. Yanks come all the way back from 5-1 down, grab a 6-5 lead. 6 runs scored in the 7th inning on 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 2 catchers interference. And then Jose Trevino. There's been like Ted Williams this year for the Yankees. Off the wall, 2 runs come in to score. The Yanks rally, come back to win it by a final of 9-5. Even with the Red Sox loss tonight, both the Yankees and Boston currently on track for their best calendar months in the expansion era, which dates back to 1961. Thanks to a Yankees win and the Boston loss, the Red Sox actually have lost